Hey guys, this is Aegis, and I am back. It is now summer break, so I have a little bit of time on my hands to be able to cast a couple of games here, and it's going to be Quicks versus Dire Straits, so clearly I haven't watched this game before. This was sent to me by Mobility Gaming. Check out Division Asphyxia. Well, I don't know what that is, so I'm assuming that these two players are in Masters, mid, maybe high Masters. We'll see, depending on how their play turns out. Of course, one of these players is from Mobility Gaming. I don't actually know who, but I do assume that since Mobility Gaming sent me this game, the winner is from Mobility Gaming, for obvious reasons. Over here, it's going to be a Protoss versus Zerg. It is Cloud Kingdom, one of the new, or supposedly new, ladder maps, because I haven't casted in a while, so I guess it's new to my channel. Maybe there's only one or two games of this map on my channel. But it's going to be a PvZ, and on this map, I believe it does favor the Protoss a little bit, especially at the 2 to 3 base times, especially because it is hard for Zerg to actually take a 4th base on this map without Protoss being able to get to it a little bit easier. And for a Zerg player, these choke points here with the destructible rocks, especially at the early stages of the game, will be quite annoying, especially if our Protoss player decides to get any sort of Colossi up, and it will make the Zerg player a little bit more uneasy, and he'll probably want to take out these destructible rocks. We'll see if he does something like that with his first few Zerglings out on the map. There's a spawning pool on the way since he does see the probe in his base, so he doesn't really want to get blocked immediately, but it does look like he will pull two drones off to deal with that probe as it tries to block the natural expansion. Zerg will soon have enough for a hatchery, so that probe isn't actually doing any sort of economic damage except for that second drone that is out trying to corner that. Oh! Dire Strait killing off that probe a little bit unexpected over there. There's a Cybernetics core coming up for Quicks, and I don't think our Zerg player has actually scouted inside of his base yet. No, he has not. He's just seen the front, so he doesn't know that there's a gas up and running. But as of this point, Dire Strait can assume that our Protoss player will not be going for a natural expansion before the, say, 8-minute timing. There's the natural expansion coming up for Dire Strait. He's getting a couple of extra drones up. He is spreading out his overlords around on the map. We do see the slightly faster overlord movement speed here. It's quite noticeable, actually. I haven't been able to play, so I might be a little bit rusty here. LOLT. Well, I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe something happened during the game or something like that. There's the queen popping up. ZVZ OV plays. Oh. Yeah, oh well. With those faster overlords, though, he will be able to pull those overlords back a little bit quicker. The overlord is moving back towards the backside of Quick's base, so he will be able to scout in around the 6-minute mark. Quicks looks like he will be trying to take a base early off of this one cybercore and 2 gases. I'm not too sure what he's up to with those second gas then. There's the sentries moving down the ramp. We'll be able to chase away those 2 Zerglings, making me look like an idiot. And there's the Nexus coming up, and he should be walling this off soon with a couple of additional gateways to help close that space a little bit. Dire Strait now throwing down a spine crawler. He's seen the natural expansion, so I'm not sure what he's too worried about as of this point. There's the pylon. I guess the Dire Strait might be worried that it is a cancel Nexus scheme. There's the queen continuing to spawn larvae. Both queens still staying pretty low on the energy. Very well done by Dire Strait as of the moment. There are more Zerglings coming out as of this moment, and there are more gateways for Quicks up at the front. Going to be closing this off a little bit better right now. I believe it does take 2 force fields, or 1.5 force fields, to close this off. Couple of Zerglings trying to poke in here, and it looks like they will be able to make it into the natural expansion. The probe does survive, and the pylon looks like it will go down. There are quite a few sentries out, but these 2 gateways will be unpowered for at least a while. The force field going down, and the Zerglings backing up. Quick's desperately trying to hang on to the natural expansion right now with just 4 sentries, and Dire Strait continuing to pressure here while continuing to drone. Another pylon trying to come up. The probe almost gets picked off, and oh no, the sentry is getting a little bit surrounded there, losing 0 sentries. Very well done by Quicks. Uh, we'll call this at least mid-masters play. Anything under that, Protoss players would tend to lose those sentries. I know I do. And there's the third base on the way for Dire Strait, doing a very nice job trying to deny this natural expansion, and Quicks doing an amazing job defending. There's the assimilator coming up at the natural expansion, and a Twilight Council now on the way for Quicks. And on the other side, Dire Strait is going for a Roach Warren, and this will allow him to get those nice beefy units out to be able to deal with any sort of stalkers. The first Forge is now on the way for Quicks, so he will be able to get cannons just in case he does see any sort of, oh, it's Dark Shrine, just in case he sees any sort of burrowed roaches. One Zergling does sacrifice itself. It does see the Forge. And I think Dire Strait might notice the weird timing of that Forge, and maybe try to discern that there might be some sort of funky tech in here. He does have an Overlord in position, and even with the faster Overlord speed, I think Quicks should be able to respond quickly enough to save that Dark Shrine from being seen. There's an Evolution Chamber on the way for Dire Strait. He's a little bit too saturated over here. So this was not a ladder game. Let's see, I recognize... I should have checked this first. I recognize the SG tag, but I'm not sure if that's the same SG that I'm thinking about. The SG that I remember is Standard Gaming, and I don't know if they still exist. But the third base now being saturated by Dire Strait. He did transfer those drones as if he heard me through the replay. And there's the Overlord scouting into the natural expansion. It does get killed off, and Dire Strait, oopsie daisy, getting a supply blocked over there. 5 Overlords on the way, though. There's a little bit of a warp in of Dark Templar, and Quicks is going for the cross my fingers and pray method, warping in 4 Dark Templar all at once. That is quite a bit of investment, so he better hope that this does damage. And over here, Dire Strait actually does have the capacity to make Overseer, so he just needs to respond quickly enough. His Zerglings are coming across the field. There are a couple of Roaches up at the front. Are there any detection sources over here? No, it does not look like there are. And the Dark Templar are headed into the expansions over here. A couple of drones now falling. Let's take a look at the workers count. Oopsie, I just showed you the replay bar, and it looks like 25 workers killed by Quicks already, and Dire Strait's food is dropping. The drones are not mining in the main and the third base. A lot of drones are falling. These Dark Templar are doing so much damage. The Roaches now coming back in, and the Overseer is now morphed. These 2 Dark Templar are now trying to escape. They will get out of there. Dire Strait put into a pretty bad position, especially, actually, units killed is 42, but 24 workers killed by Quicks. That is quite a large number, and let's take a look at the units tab. And we do see the Harvesters actually ahead for our Protoss player, so Quicks in a very nice position. Wow, that is late. No, that can't be. He did warp in earlier. I'm getting a little bit crazy here. I did have 3 straight days of exams, and I was up really late each and every day. So please excuse me. And there's the Stalkers continuing to join the fields. No Colossus on the field, quite strangely. More Void Rays coming out onto the field. Quicks playing quite strangely for this game, but it will work very well against the large number of Roaches that he has seen. There are cannons also on the way. Where are those cannons being built? There's one over here, and the third base actually naked of cannons. Looks like the Dark Templar also returning home, and Dire Strait going for a push at that third base. There's not enough over here for Dire Strait to be able to do any sort of damage, especially with the huge number of Stalkers as well as the Void Rays. A couple of Zealots getting pooped out over there. Funny enough, Dire Strait is actually still ahead in terms of food count. He is making more stuff. He does have Hydras on the way, so he will be able to get a nice advantage on those Void Rays if he can get